Hi everybody, it's Lene. Thanks so much for stopping by my channel today. So I've got a new fall project for you. It was starting out to be a one-sheet wonder, and then I decided I needed to expand upon that. So it's another 6x6 paper project, okay? This is Autumn Garden. I just love it. It's just perfect for fall. It's got this beautiful wreath on this side, beautiful little leaf print on the other side. Now you're getting 4 of each of these different what we call signatures in the paper biz. All right, so there you go with a cute little black cat. That's a lot of hydrangeas there. Beautiful border. Gotta have a little check. And then this one, I love the dot with the gorgeous borders. And then on the back, we've got a little sheet of cutouts. That one. These are little kind of like card toppers. This is also in a 12 by 12. That's actually really, really gorgeous. All right, so we're going to be using that, and we're going to be using this coordinating solid cardstock as well. So let's just jump right in. This is really, really simple. So I hope it's not too simple. We're going to do this at 6 inches. I'm going to write this down. Pulled that out for a reason. Okay, so we're doing on the 12 by 12, we're going to score the 6 inches mark. Okay. Don't put your pen away, Lene. Here we go. All right, now we're going to turn this and we're going to score it again at 6 inches. Oops, that one did not connect. There we go. All right. So that's where we are for now. Now, let's do, how can I put this one? So you're going to do that times 2. Hope that makes sense. All right, so the next thing we're going to do is, this is where it gets a little odd. We're going to take the paper cutter and we are going to cut from one side. We're going to cut away 1 inch. All right, keep that. Oh, I think I'm going to need this again. All right, so now we've got a 6x6 side, right? And then we've got a 6x5 side, okay? Meaning that these are 6 inches by 5 inches, 6 inches by 6 inches. Does that make sense? Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to turn it this way. So the 5-inch sections are at the top and the 6x6 is down here. And I'm going to take my paper cutter and I am going to cut just along this line right here. Just going to cut that right up to the middle. Okay, right there. Like that. Okay. Now, the other thing we're going to do is, this is kind of all directional and stuff. We're going to take this one, this bottom square right here, and we're going to turn it, just the bottom part, we're going to score at 2 inches. That's for a little flap that we're going to be making. Gosh, I think I'll do it like this. All right, so that's going to be at 2 inches. All right, so let's review. All right, so from this side of the paper, we did 2 6x6s, and then from this side, actually it doesn't matter which side you take it off of, but I took from this side, the right side, a 1 inch by 12 inch strip. Just take it away, right? Then we took the the portion that's a 6x6 right here, and we scored that at 2 inches. All right, I had to get rid of that scoreboard. It was making me crazy. All right, so let's do this fold. All right, so directionally, that 5-inch section is at the top, the 6-inch section is at the bottom. All right, we've cut right here down the center of the 6-inch section, and then we made this little 2-inch wide little flat piece right here. All right. Now we're going to take the bottom left corner, that's the 6-inch square. We're going to fold it back like that. All right. Then we're going to work with the right side here, and we're going to fold this one over. Okay, and now this part right here, the bottom, we're going to fold this up, and then you're going to fold that flap down, just like that. And when you turn it, if we glued this flap down, you'd have a little pocket right here, a little tuck spot. You have a page and a page. This part right here, if we glued that shut, you could have a top loading pocket right here, or if you glued the top shut and left this open, you could have a side loading pocket, either one. And then you've got a page and a page. All right, following me? If not, just rewind and watch that part again. I seriously thought about this so many times, how I could make this simple, because it is very directional, and directional is hard for me. So I had to fold it multiple times to get that. Okay, so now what we're going to do is sort of figure out, before gluing everything together, figuring out what papers we wanted to use where. So, I mean, I love that border. That's just absolutely gorgeous. And then, fortunately, we have multiples of these. That is so cute right there, maybe. This kitty has got to be featured. I mean, if we put him here, let's see where this ends. He won't be peeking out behind that, but we can move him over. We can like cut this part off a little bit so that the kitty is right about there. Oop, that's a really bad fold, but I think we can make that kitty peek out. That would be so cute. All right, so this one, when you're getting the whole picture of that wreath, that would be really cool if we put that one there, but then we are gonna get a little bit of that wreath sticking out like this. So I'm not sure if I like that. We might end up using this one on the back, okay? Because it is really beautiful. I do want to feature that. So we'll see. And then we've got all these cute little things that we can make tags with. That would be really cute. All these little greetings. But then on the backs of these, we've got great paper too. All right, so I'm gonna kind of figure this out, cut some paper down, and we'll be back. All right, I'm back, and I realized I owed you measurements from before. Okay, so these are all the measurements, the 2-inch flap and everything. I got a little distracted. All right, so let's start by inking some edges on the base of our little album here, and I'm using roasted pumpkin, and which goes so nicely. And then I'm just doing like all the edges all the way around, even the like little folds right there. I think it just adds so much. So let's talk about cutting down these papers. I'm going to start from the back. So this is 6 inches tall. It's always going to be 6 inches tall. So what I did was, to leave a little border here, I cut my paper down to 5 7/8 inch tall. Okay, so they will always be 5 7/8 inch tall. Ooh, that's a weird 7. Okay, so 5 7/8 inch. And then they're all going to be different widths. So I thought, man, how can I thought it would be best to just show you how I'm adjusting. So this one is the 6x6 page that's in the very back. So this whole thing is cut down 5 7/8 and then 5 7/8 and 5 7/8. All right, I inked the edges of this. We're going to glue this down. And then the paper that's on the back of this beautiful gingham, is going to be the opposite page. But we got that centered. Okay, so this page over here, it's going to be 5 7/8 inch. The paper will be cut down to that. But then, you know, it's not the same width. It's slightly smaller. So what we're going to do is, I've cut this one down to 5 7/8 of an inch tall. And it leaves a little border. But now we have to take our little pencil and just put a little bit of a mark right there so that we can continue that border. And so pretty much they're all going to be done that way. Just like that. And that will adjust. So all the paper is 5 by 7 inches tall, and then you're adjusting the width each time. Put a little bit more pumpkin on there. Okay, and then we're going to be taking like additional paper. We're going to be doing some, of course, I've got to do some tags. I feel like I'm the tag lady now. Okay, but I just love a layered tag. All right, so that's going to go right there. So those are the back pages. Now let's go to the middle. All right, so let's talk about that cute little cat paper. Let me find him right here. Oh, here he is. Okay, so this cat paper, 6 by 6, it needs to be cut down so that's 5 7/8 inch tall. We also want to cut a little bit off of the right edge so that this cat is like not too far over. So that's what I did here. See how much I cut away. Here he is right there. That's just like, oh, probably 3/8 of an inch. Just cut that away. And then this is, I did the same thing. It's 5 7/8 inch tall. Trimmed a little bit away from this one. And then on this side, I went ahead and I just marked it right next to the fold, just a little bit over from the fold to get it to have this little border. All right, so that one's going to go right there. And then he'll peek out from the edge of the book. Okay, for this side, I could have used the rest of the paper over here, but I wanted to use what was on the back of this, and it kind of flows into that, if you can see. So this is going to get put on the left side. Okay, so when we close that up, this is what we're going to see. So let's talk about the front. Okay, I used this paper from the front, did the same thing, cut this down so that this was 5 7/8 inch tall. Placed that right there. Just made a little bit of a mark, so I got a strip that includes all the border right there. Inked those edges and glued that there on the flap. And then the other side of it, right here, I just adjusted right there, made a pencil mark and cut that down. So now we are ready to make this one a little tuck spot flap. There we go. Okay, so that's our little space there for tucking tags. There we go. Now let's deal with this one. Are we going to be making this a top loader or a side loader? Okay, I recently did a book where we did a lot of top loading pages, so I'm feeling like a side loading page. So let's do that. Okay, so now we just need to add some glue. So we're going to go like this and like this. Okay, just like that. And then this side is left open. All right, so now let's talk about something to go here for our binding, something that we're going to be keeping this. Okay, so we've glued that that pocket that we just glued is now keeping everything together, but I feel like we could add something right there. Okay, so I'm thinking just a little bit of that gingham paper would be really, really cute. This one is cut down to 5 7/8 inch tall. I want something that's the same height as the book, the 6 by 6. So let's find it. I'm looking, I'm looking, I'm looking. I know I didn't use them all. Oh, you know what? We forgot to do the back. Okay, well, I'm looking for that gingham paper. Okay, this one we just need to cut down to 5 7/8. Okay, to 5 7/8. Doing a little bit of a square there. That's going to go on the back. I know it's pretty enough to go on the front, but it's not going to accommodate our little flap on the front. Of course, you could just turn the whole thing around and you could reverse what I have done. But my design today is featuring a flap on the front. Okay. We went to the pumpkin patch this weekend with my adult daughter, and we had so much fun. And it's fun when your kids grow up, at least mine anyway, loves a family tradition, loves it. And if we try to skip a family tradition, she's like, she calls us on it. She's like, hey, wait, we didn't do this, or we got to do this. And I guess that just goes to show we did our job, you know, like she enjoys being with her family, and I just love that. All right, there we go. So yes, we were still looking for the plaid paper. Found it. All right, so now we're going to cut this. This is 6 inches tall. We're going to cut that to 2 inches wide. All right, now we can absolutely use our scoreboard for this, but we can also just fold that in half like that. And we can ink. All right, there we go. So that's just going to sandwich that right there. Sadly, it's taking up more of the border than I like. Okay, you know what? We're going to cut this down smaller. It's already folded. That's okay. We're going to cut it down because it's 1 inch wide right now. We're going to cut it down to 3/4 of an inch. See if that makes a difference for our design. I like that better. Okay, so after I get this glued on, then I can start focusing on what's going to happen on the inside. So definitely stick around. Also, don't forget, I love to give away my projects to my subscriber friends. So subscribe. It's right down below the video where you're watching. YouTube tells me that like 60% of you watching are not subscribed, and it is a huge thanks to me if you guys subscribe, and it would be a big favor. Thank you. Here we go. Okay, so now we've got our little tuck spot, pages, pages. Don't forget we've got our side loader here. I feel like we can get a lot of stuff in here, so come back. All right, I'm back with some things to show you, my plans for the inside. So I thought we could do something simple like a little tag right there. And of course I used my favorite tag punch. For those of you who haven't seen it, it's just like this. I got it on Amazon, and there's one that's very similar in my Amazon store front. If you look down below the video, it just has a different handle, like a different color handle. I'm not sure what that was about. So you just cut them to 2.5, 2 or 1.5 inch wide strips, being mindful of how tall you want to make it, especially if you have something decorative at the bottom. And then you just punch, and it leaves such a nice little tag. And then I like to ink the edges of that, put a little ribbon or something on there. They're great for adding a little pocket to the back and adding a little gift card to, or something like that. Okay, you can also just tie them together like this and put them in the pockets. So that's a thing we can do. Let's talk about what we can put in here. So I think like this is a 4x4 photo that just has corner rounded edges. that would go nicely in there, but you could also make a larger tag. So here I have, this is 3 by 4. Ooh, how wide is this? This is 3.5 by 5 inches. Ooh, that's way off. And then I have another little strip of paper here that I hadn't used yet. So one of the things I like to do in making sort of bigger tags like this, put a little glue here. Probably should have done this part first. And then I like to just tear the bottom edge of that paper like that. And then put that wherever you would like, however wide you want that to be. I'm just trimming off excess. You can use these for other tags. And then you've got this nice kind of ruffly edge with that torn edge. And then I like to touch the top corners, not folding, just bending, and then just clip those away. And then you've got a nice little shaped tag. You could put a hole punch in it if you want. I generally don't. This is also a nice idea for a little gift card if you were going to make this a gift. And you could take another little strip of paper and glue it right there, just on these sides, and have a nice little gift. So we can put this right in here. It just fits just like that. But we also have some cute little cutouts, whoops, that we could put on here. Let me grab that. So we have this one with your birthday. I love this one. Pumpkin and Spice are calling, and it's got the cute little owl. So when we do our final flip through, you'll see which one of these I wanted to use. We've also got those little card toppers, those little rectangles, which are buried here on my desk. So we might use those too. All right, and yes, I wanted to show you what I was going to do on this page. Remember that 1-inch long strip, 1 by 12 that we cut off at the very beginning. Okay, it has a little score line there that's 6 inches. We can just cut that. And then I cut this strip just slightly smaller. So it's like 3/4 of an inch wide and like 5 7/8 inch long. We're going to go ahead and glue that on there. And then we're just going to make a little belly band for tucking tags on, just like that. Just a little bit of glue there and a little bit there. You could put this what's great about these kind of belly bands is you can put a photo or something right over them if you don't want to use them as a belly band. Or, this is a little too soon to try this, but you can also tuck things that you don't want permanently glued in. It's not wanting to work because it's, there we go, it's not quite glued down. Like that. And you can do tags and things like that. All right, so we've got our little belly band. We've got our tags that we talked about. For this one, I used a little pumpkin charm. And I got these on Amazon. I'll link those in my storefront as well. These charms have a little bit of enamel on them. They're so cute. And doesn't that look like, that reminds me of Charlie Brown. It's just like the perfect Charlie Brown pumpkin. And I just think that's so sweet. And their little cherish is a little sticker from a little sticker sheet right here. This is Tiny Words and Phrases Dazzle stickers. I'll link that down below because that's from Paper Wishes. And I'm using this twine that I got at the thrift store. All right, so I have no idea what it was for, if it was for like originally upholstery or something, but it's really nubby. I often take it and I just double it over and use it to hang things. All right, so when we come back, I will be all done and do a flip through, and I will tell you my Charlie Brown story from when I was a kid. All right, we're ready for the final flip through. As you can see, I wrapped the twine around the front cover about 4 times and then threaded one of those cute little pumpkins on there and just tied a little bow. Added a little tag here. Here I added a little flower to a tag. I did not glue the bottom edge of the tag so it would kind of slip over the top of this. Added a little tuck spot there. That is just torn from this little spot of that beautiful wreath because I really wanted to utilize those pumpkins. There's a little clip that's holding in a little photo there. Inside, got our little tag with a little pocket right there. And then we've got a little belly band there with another little tag and the back cover. Super easy. So I told you guys I would tell you my Charlie Brown story. It's really short. So when I was 5 years old, my mom had me go to bed in October. It's dark, 7 o'clock. And I had just fallen asleep. This is one of my happiest memories. And she came in and woke me up. Now, who does that, right? And she said, Lene, Charlie Brown's The Great Pumpkin is on TV. And it's only going to play once. So do you want to see it? I was so excited and so upset. I got up crying and cried all the way out to the TV room. Sat down with my blankie, just like Linus, and cried, sobbed all the way through the show because I was so happy. But it is a special memory for me whenever Charlie Brown's The Great Pumpkin comes on. I remember that. Don't forget, you guys, I would love to hear your Halloween or your fall memories. Leave me a comment. Don't forget to subscribe. And don't forget, one of my subscribers who likes, comments, and is a subscriber will be entered in to win this cute little, I don't know, it's a book, it's a journal, you could make it whatever you want. I'm calling it a photo album. And then you watch next week's video to see who the winner is. Thanks for joining me. Happy fall!